In this video, we'll take a look at a popular image processing technique known as guided filtering, in which we transfer characteristics from one image on the top of another. So in this example, we see how we can transfer characteristics from guidance image G to input image I. To see an example of the same, take a look at these images which I have taken from the paper published on Guided Filter. The furry characteristics of the guidance image have been transferred over on this input image to produce the result. You can see what is the mathematics behind this. So first of all, what we need to understand about guided filtering is that it's a local operation. It assumes that for a particular point, the only places that will be affected by is from all the pixels inside a box surrounding it. So throughout this tutorial, we'll call this box as box K. And so essentially, whenever we'll talk about a point I, we'll assume the guide filtering assumes that its final result will not be dependent on any of the pixels other than the pixels inside this box. We do the same operation for all pixels between the two images, and that is how we generate the output image O. So let's take a look at the operation that is performed per pixel. So the output at any pixel I is basically a result of multiplying each pixel in the input image with some sort of a weight that I'll generate using the guidance image G for that particular pixel. Now we further simplify this model and say that my output pixel will only really depend on the guidance image I pixel and two constants. We'll calculate these constants based on the guidance image and the input image, and thus this becomes a locally linear model. Essentially what I'm saying is that for any point within this box, the output will be a combination of two constants A and B and the pixel value in the guidance image. So for any point in this box, essentially the output becomes A times the pixel value in the guidance image plus B, and these constants A and B are assumed to be constant over the box. So now let's see how can we compute these constants A and B such that we transfer the characteristics of the guidance image onto the input image without destroying the input image. We know that for each point within the box, I'm outputting the number AK times the pixel value in the guidance image plus another constant BK. Now this is the output that I am generating. If I take a difference between the two and I try to minimize the difference of squares for all these, what I'll essentially do is that I'll force my output to be as close to the input. I'll also add a regularization term. It gives us a flexibility to not find a very exact solution to what we're looking for. It gives us another handle, another parameter through which we can control the degree of how much we want to apply the characteristics of the guidance image onto the input image. Without going into the details of how these equations are solved, this is a standard equation in machine learning, and the results turn out to be something like this. So for the constant A is calculated by multiplying each pixel within the box K of the guidance image and the input image, and then subtracting them by the means of the guidance image for the box K and the input image for box K, summing them up and dividing the whole thing by the variance of the guidance image for the box K, and epsilon is our parameter which we had chosen for regularization. The constant B is simpler, which is essentially the mean of the input image for the box K minus the constant A times the mean of the guidance image for box K. So now one thing to note is that I had assumed that for all pixels inside this box, I'm assuming the constants A and B to be the same, but a pixel actually belongs to many boxes, right? So for this pixel belongs to this box and many other boxes. So a better approximation of these constants would be if I averaged all constants within this box. So assuming I am calculating the constant for this particular point, then a better estimate of this constant would be by averaging all the constants that I calculated within this box. The final A will turn out to be an average of all the constants within the box K, and final B will turn out to be an average of all the B constants within the box K. Now let's take a look at what the equations will tell us when the guidance and the input images are the same. If the guidance and the input images are the same, then G and I are the same, and mean GK is also equals to mean IK. And thus the equation for the constant A reduces down to the variance of the box K divided by the variance of box K plus the epsilon parameter. Also, similarly, if you take a look at the equation for B, it reduces down to 1 minus the constant K into the mean of the box K. So the final value for any pixel in this scenario will turn out to be constant A times the input pixel plus 1 minus the constant A times the mean of the box. So essentially what we are doing here is, in this output we are taking some percentage of the input signal and some percentage of the mean signal. So what this essentially does is it blurs the image out, but it blurs it based on the constant A. And as we see, the constant A is basically dependent on the variance, the local variance at a given point. So what this is essentially doing is that it is doing blurring which is based on the variance of a point. So it's doing variance based blurring, which can be useful in image denoising. While the function that we eventually came up with for deciding on how much denoising will happen is sigma square upon sigma square plus epsilon, we can always use the variance with some sort of a different function to decide how much denoising, how much blurring are we going to do at a particular point. Now let's take a look at the space and time complexity. So essentially in this example you'd see that what we are doing is that we are calculating a bunch of numbers over boxes. So for calculating each of these intermediate terms, it's essentially many filtering operations, many different filtering operations. So as long as we use integral images to do these filtering operations, our final time complexity will come out to be O of n. Also, we are using a lot of to store the information of A, or to store the information of any intermediate constant like G into I, we'll need to use a frame, and there are a constant number of such frames that we're going to use through this algorithm some for storing A, some for storing B, some for storing G into I. But essentially we'll be using a constant number of frames, so the space complexity will also turn out to be O of n. So this is essentially what guided filtering is. I hope you get a better idea of it from this video. Thank you.